Prime Field.
Welcome to Prime Field. In the world of elite sports, innovation is the currency of dynasties. It is the subtle shift in strategy, the calculated risk that separates the champions from the contenders. For decades, the University of Connecticut women's basketball program has been a standard bearer of excellence. But sustained dominance requires constant evolution. In the 2025-26 season, that evolution is taking a radical new form. It's a strategy borrowed not from the hardwood, but from the ice. It's called the defensive platoon, an approach best understood through the analogy of hockey line shifts. Coaches rotate entire lines to maintain peak energy and intensity. At UConn, Hall of Fame coach Geno Auriemma is applying the same logic to his backcourt, substituting a specialized three-guard unit and relentless high-energy waves. The goal is simple: create chaos. This raises a fundamental question, one that could reshape the tactical landscape of the sport. What makes Geno Auriemma's defensive platoon system so effective that it can disrupt even the most potent offenses? And can this innovative approach redefine defensive strategy in women's college basketball for years to come? Any revolutionary system is only as strong as the personnel executing it. For UConn's defensive platoon, the engine is a trio of guards, each with a distinct and disruptive skill set. They are not merely players, they are tactical weapons, deployed to dismantle an opponent's rhythm piece by piece. The point of the spear is KK Arnold. Described as the team's most aggressive defender, Arnold operates with a relentless energy that unnerves ball handlers. Her quickness and anticipation are not just theoretical assets, they produce quantifiable results. With 61 steals, she ranks in the top 2% of all players nationally, a statistic that underscores her ability to single-handedly alter the course of a possession. Alongside her is Ashlynn Shade. Her development is a testament to the program's emphasis on defensive specialization. Despite playing fewer minutes, Shade has demonstrated a marked improvement in her defensive game, significantly increasing her steal count. Her role is to impact the game in concentrated bursts, providing fresh legs and sharp instincts as part of the platoon's rotation. The final piece is Kayleigh Heckel. A transfer from USC, Heckel arrived in Storrs with an established reputation as one of the toughest perimeter defenders in the country. In her freshman season, she tallied 45 steals, proving her tenacity against elite competition. Her inclusion gives the platoon a third formidable defensive presence, ensuring there is no drop-off in pressure when the waves are substituted. Together they form a unit built not for scoring balance, but for defensive suffocation. The true genius of Auriemma's platoon system lies not only in the pressure it creates, but in the freedom it affords. By deploying a specialized defensive unit, the roles and responsibilities of the entire team are redefined for maximum efficiency. For offensive stars like Azufut and Sarah Strong, the platoon's a strategic luxury, with the primary defensive responsibilities delegated to the rotating trio of Arnold, Shade, and Heckel. Fudd and Strong can conserve valuable energy. This allows them to focus their physical and mental reserves on what they do best: scoring. The system is designed to ensure that UConn's most potent offensive weapons are fresh and ready to execute, particularly in critical late-game situations. The very definition of the backcourt's role begins to shift. Instead of being tasked with the traditional balance of scoring and defending, the platoon's primary objective is to create turnovers and ignite transition opportunities. Defensive stops become the new offensive setup. This tactical alignment, where one unit's strength directly enables another's, creates a cascading effect. The pressure from the platoon leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to fast breaks, and fast breaks lead to high percentage scoring chances for rested elite offensive players. It is a closed loop of efficiency, engineered to wear opponents down on both ends of the floor. Geno Auriemma's defensive platoon is more than just a lineup adjustment. It represents a direct challenge to the long-held philosophy of building a balanced starting five. It suggests that in the modern game, specialization and strategic energy management may be more valuable than traditional position-by-position parity. The immediate consequences are clear. UConn's defense becomes more dynamic, more unpredictable, and ultimately more exhausting for opponents to face. The constant waves of fresh, aggressive defenders are designed to disrupt offensive rhythm and force uncharacteristic errors. Meanwhile, the team's offensive efficiency is protected, if not enhanced, by allowing its primary scorers to focus on their craft. But the long-term legacy of this system could extend far beyond Storrs. If successful, Auriemma's platoon could serve as a new blueprint for defensive strategy across college basketball. It could influence recruiting, prioritizing defensive specialists who can thrive in high-intensity rotational roles. It could change how coaches approach game planning, forcing them to account for sustained, full-court pressure for 40 minutes. This is the cutting edge of basketball strategy. a tactical innovation that blends player development with meticulous energy management. The trio of Kayleigh Heckel, KK Arnold, and Ashlynn Shade are the instruments of this new philosophy, a unit designed not just to win games, but to change how the game itself is played. This is the evolution of a dynasty, one defensive stop at a time. A system, no matter how innovative, is ultimately a human endeavor. And for UConn, the success of the defensive platoon is not a foregone conclusion. While the focus often falls on established stars like AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong, known quantities and pillars of the program, the true determinant of the 2025-26 season rests elsewhere. It lies within the unproven chemistry of the new-look backcourt. This is the season's critical unknown, the ultimate X factor. Their ability to gel defensively, to embrace specialized roles, and to execute as a selfless unit will define the team's ceiling. This raises a stark and pivotal question. Will this backcourt's cohesion unlock a new era of UConn dominance? Or will it become the team's Achilles' heel? The answer will determine whether a championship legacy is continued or cut short. At the heart of this uncertainty is a classic conflict, the tension between individual talent and collective cohesion. The offensive firepower is established. AZ Fudd, the reigning Final Four most outstanding player, remains one of the nation's most lethal shooters. In the front court, Sarah Strong, the #1 recruit from 2024, has already proven to be a dominant force, drawing comparisons to program legends. But the narrative of this team is being written by the backcourt trio, tasked with executing the new defensive scheme. For players like Ashlynn Shade and KK Arnold, the challenge is profound. Both started as freshmen, accustomed to significant roles. Now they are asked to move to the bench to embrace a different kind of contribution, one measured less in points and more in pressure. Their acceptance of these new, less glamorous roles is not guaranteed. It is a test of maturity and a measure of their commitment to a team-first ethos, a test that will unfold under the bright lights of a championship or bust season. The challenge of forging this new identity falls to coach Geno Auriemma, but the landscape he navigates is fundamentally different from the one on which he built his dynasty. The modern collegiate athlete operates in a world of new pressures and new opportunities. In his own words, Auriemma acknowledges the shift. "The players I'm coaching today are much more challenging," he has stated, citing a culture of free agency year-round, fueled by the transfer portal and NIL deals. He notes that today's players have many more voices in their heads, making the traditional coaching mandate of establishing trust and clear roles more complex than ever. The days of simply waiting your turn are gone. This new reality complicates the task of integrating strong personalities into a selfless system. For Auriemma, the battle is no longer just against opposing teams. It is against the internal and external forces that can fracture team chemistry before it ever has a chance to solidify. As the season begins, UConn stands at a crossroads with two starkly different futures looming. The outcome hinges entirely on the resolution of their backcourt experiment. In one future, the chemistry clicks. The backcourt trio embraces their defensive identity, creating a suffocating pressure that fuels the offense. Their cohesion becomes the team's unbreakable foundation, propelling UConn through the tournament on a dominant defense-led run to another national championship. But there is another more precarious path, one where offensive struggles and chemistry issues plague the backcourt, where individual ambitions clash with team needs, creating vulnerabilities that veteran opponents can exploit. In this future, the season ends not in celebration, but in a disappointing early tournament exit, raising difficult questions about the program's identity in a new era. The journey of this team, and perhaps the future of a dynasty, will be decided not by its most celebrated stars, but by the fragile essential alchemy of its new backcourt.
Prime Field